heart will go on.
My heart will go on.
There you go.
So this is also Lindy sing it.
It's out. Of course, because as you've guessed it, you've heard the first episode of the Tribute Games podcast in a long, long while. The Tribute Games podcast is a podcast made in Montreal from the studio of Tribute Games, which is a small independent studio. By listening this, you're finding out how the video game sausage is made. The independent video game sausage is made. Talking to you right now, it's Yannick Belzil. I am a writer and also a social media manager at Tribute Games.
And I'm Justin Sear. I do game design and animation. And to my left,
and you have like a deep timbre to your voice.
Yeah, it's not exactly a sexy radio voice. It's a summer cold voice.
Came back from LA, actually. So.
Yeah.
And in front of us, who are you?
I'm a new guy in the podcast. This is I'm Michael Larouche. I'm a programmer here in Tribute Games. I C++ code. So
And you've been here for a while, but there hasn't been a podcast in a while, so that's why people might not have heard you.
This is the first time in the podcast, so I'm pretty glad to be here.
We're recording a little. Jeez, there's a lot of sound, and there's heavy machinery outside.
There's actually a giant crane, no more than like a dozen feet from us, if you can hear that.
Yeah.
So you may not survive this podcast.
Yeah, we'll see. So it might be a great document for posterity. But it's also a document for posterity because we are recording this because yesterday, Justin, we have announced a release date for Mercenary Kings. So
Mercenary Kings?
Damn it. For Curses and Chaos.
Finally.
Yes, for Curses and Chaos. So this is coming out on a Tuesday. So next week, you might be playing Curses and Chaos if you buy it, and we hope you do so. Curses and Chaos comes out on August 18th, and I was wondering, Justin, how do you feel about that? How that your video game child is going out into the world?
It's pretty awesome, really. It's like been such a long time coming, so it's almost surreal. It still doesn't. I don't think it'll ever feel real. I mean, look, this isn't our first rodeo. We've all published games before, so the feeling's always kind of the same. It's a big feeling of relief. More than anything, and the sense of accomplishment. So, yeah, kudos to everyone. Everyone works super hard on it. Getting a lot of really good feedback just from, like, the art that we've shown. Stéphane Boutin really knocked it out of the park with his backgrounds. Everyone really stepped up to the plate. Mika, you came on halfway through the project, did you not?
Yeah, mostly like third for the project. Like
how was Jeff's code? Honestly, you can tell us.
Jeff, mostly Jonathan code actually. So hey, Jeff and I did the mostly like the port because Jonathan is not really a C++ programmer, and for Curses and Chaos we decided to switch to C++ for all of Virtua games, so we have to manually port all the C# code that Jonathan wrote to C++. So
how for I imagine that not a lot of our audience are necessarily programmers. I think more artists listen to us.
Yes.
But can you break it down? Like, how does that happen? Like,
all right, so. Firstly, the language Jonathan used to code the Curses and Chaos is called C#. This is a Microsoft language. This is like a proprietary language. This is pretty hard to port on PS4 and Vita. So we decided to use a more standard grade language that's called C++. And this is not really used that much now, except in games and Anyway, so fortunately C++ and C# are similar in syntax, so sometimes we just have to copy and paste the code from C# and C++ and just do little rewrites. And we did that manually. Wow. So for every file in the C# code, we had to write in C++ code, so
if you make a mistake, it's immediately apparent, or can you actually
No, it's pretty apparent, but sometimes we did some mistake when reporting the code. So what GF did at the first is he took the monogame code, which is like your open source implementation of XNA, which is the engine we use on Wizard and Mercenary Kings, but the basic framework for a game. And he did that. He did the initial porting on Vita, added mostly all the remaining gameplay code. I did all the porting of that, the port on PS4. And near the end, I wrote a tool to help the porting. GF and I should write a tool to help out Jonathan. And
is that the compiler? Or?
No, this is like
compressor or whatever?
No, this is a part of the converter tool that take the C# class and write like a skeleton in C++. And I thought, I should have done that months ago.
That sounds scary.
Yeah, that's pretty.
So all of that, like how long does it take mostly just for, and then because it's still like it's not a massive game.
We won't do that for Mercenary Kings because Mercenary Kings is a pretty huge game. There's lots of code. Took about 5 to 6 months.
Like, okay, now, correct me if I'm wrong on any of this, because to give a little bit of history, this was actually supposed to be like our second game. We were working on this right after Wizorb, and that game was supposed to be Xbox Live Indie, so it was coded actually in XNA. So what's the difference between XNA and C#?
C# is XNA is like a framework. This is like a set of function that was written by Microsoft in C# to be used on the Xbox 360 for Xbox Live Arcade.
Oh, okay.
Which sparks like a huge part of the indie revolution, actually. So.
Yeah, and it was so crazy because they just like dropped it like a bad habit.
This is typical Microsoft business. This
still a mystery, but it's still like that. And then so the project served like a bunch of different functions. One, it was to be a smaller game to kind of catch our breath after Mercenary Kings, because I wasn't there for that production, but I understand it was quite the ordeal.
Yeah. It was pretty long, yeah.
Yeah. And so we came back to it because we had made some progress in it, but not too much. And we thought, well, best let it not go to waste. So, and in doing so, all the other things that Mikael brought up, working out our tools, because from now on, as I'm understood, we're going to do everything in C++.
Yeah, because I think Jeff told me when they did the port of PS4 from Mercenary King, they got some issue with monogame port on PS4, and they didn't want to deal with that in the future, and so that's why I decided, I think, to do it with the more standard, like all the other big companies that use C++ and Intern to develop their game, because it's more, you get more control over the machine, and all your code is laid out, and you got more control.
Yeah, because it seemed like for a while we were everything hinged on mono games to have their tools or whatever ready so that we could port it easily to other consoles, and it just wasn't happening. So Jeff took the decision of, fuck it, we're going to do this ourselves. Right?
Yeah, exactly. Okay. So with doing the C++ code, we got more control over our tools, actually. Right. And all the game, actually doing the porting it simplified the porting, because I did the initial PS4 port in like 2 weeks, maybe. And the only thing that was a problematic was like the rendering code on PS4. It didn't work really well with the matrix we use for our code. But anyway, and the matrix, yeah.
It sounds scary.
Yeah, it's all math. But still, and I did the Mac port in 2 days.
Yeah, that was a nice surprise that came out of it too, is we actually had a Mac port.
Yeah. And because we use for all the input and Windows stuff, we use like a really portable solution called SDL. And SDL is like portable to a shitload of platforms, so doing the Mac port was quite easy, actually. So
yeah, so nice. And that's fun. So yeah, it's weird too, because like, when people do like press junkets for like movies and things, they always seem a little weird, because for them, like, the thing has been done for a while. Yeah. And they have to kind of come back to it and be like, yeah, because, for people that just watch the end product, they think like, oh, it was probably finished like last week. And it's no, I haven't really touched anything for Curses in a long while, aside from like promotional and so we it's we've been
so do you know how long since you've actually touched something that ended up in the game in Curses and Chaos?
It's been months.
Like, I think 2-3 months actually. So
and that's the thing too. It's like you have to know kind of when to call it quits too, because you can work on things indefinitely.
Do you remember what's the last thing you did and how you felt after you did it?
That's a really good question. What was the last thing I did? Probably some background animations. It was stuff. I can't even say what it's for, because it's for some post-game content. Yeah, so we actually worked on some things that will unlock after you finish the game. And I would reckon fans of tribute games will be pleased.
Excellent.
Yes, indeed.
Yeah, so when that happens, do you actually feel that it's done, and how do you feel when that happens?
No. I've never in all my career had a finished product that I look and I go, great, this is done. Nothing ever feels done. And I think that's a good thing. I think that's what kind of keeps pushing you to keep doing better. So unfortunately, no, I don't feel like this is done. It's really awesome, but it's not like knowing when to sort of call it a day is, it's not a reflex. You have to sort of develop that, I don't even know how you put it, but that need to just put end to something, because we don't have to answer to anybody by ourselves. So we always want to do a little bit better, a little bit more.
We also have to answer to Jesus Christ, but he doesn't work here. So
No.
I think he'll like it.
Oh yeah,
He should.
Yeah.
He should.
They're fighting evil.
yeah. There you go.
And who doesn't like that?
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. Jeez.
Crane talk.
Yeah, a lot of crane in the background. Maybe we have new mics, so maybe the cranes are not being picked up, but we hear them, and it's a bit strange. We're always afraid that the truck's gonna fall on us or something.
You know the guy who's operating that crane, his name is?
No.
Fraser.
Baby, the blues are calling.
Yeah. It's the tossed salad and scrambled eggs.
Yeah.
You know, that song was weird after Chris Rock revealed what tossed salad was.
Yeah, there's something about tossing salad like that. Check it out if you're curious, but maybe not check it out at work.
Yeah, exactly. So
Or if you're under 18, don't check that out.
it's just, he's singing it with such gusto about
Yeah.
tossed salad. It's like, I could never watch the end of Frasier after that. Good times.
So, yeah, but now how do you feel at it? Because now it's done.
Yeah.
So,
Oh, yeah, it's
next
done,
week.
That actually, I think once you've sort of like put enough distance between you and the thing, it feels good. It feels like, you know, okay, this is another notch under the belt sort of thing. And the fact that it was, you know, first for a lot of us, that was really awesome. Like it's a mixed bag, but it's overall a really good feeling.
Yeah, and you guys, because you've worked, not Michael, we didn't say, but you've worked at Ubisoft in the past, and you've worked on a lot of other big projects and stuff like that.
Yeah, I didn't tell I was from Ubisoft. So yeah, I worked on Assassin's Creed. It was pretty huge production. They got lots of stress, lots of crunch time. Like for 2 months, you have to work like a lot. Quite a change of pace to be here. So we didn't do like crunch time. It was pretty smooth. Everything was pretty fun actually. So
Do you guys have end of projects, milestones or superstitions and stuff you do when you're done with a game or when you're done with a project? Like Justin, you seems like a guy who could eat up a big steak once a project is done or completed or something like that.
I don't have any, but that sounds like a damn fine tradition to
I
start.
think it's time to start a tradition. If we have other people who work in video games or whatever who have a tradition, end of projects or end of closing traditions, like send us your traditions at the Tribute Games. We're curious. Like I said, we're shopping for our own traditions.
Yeah, Metal Gear Solid Steak Eater.
Yes.
we should get champagne or something like that. Should it?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
It's a good idea.
Yeah.
It's good for Formula One racers, but all they do is sitting.
Wait, don't
No, they don't do anything.
They just drive around a track.
Yeah, and don't they have some weird thing with milk too?
I don't know if it's all of them or it's just for kid racers, for PG kid racers.
right.
If you're a Formula One racer and you're under 18, they give you a big bottle of milk. If you're an adult, you get champagne. Is that how I understand it?
There you
Oh.
go. The mystery solved. So yeah, it's pretty cool. And we should also say that we've grown yet again in numbers. We have a new recruit.
Yeah, we have a bunch of new recruits. When we first started here, like, Johan had just came in and he barely talked on one of the previous episodes, and Michael was there, and now we have an actual operations manager called Lucy, who's here as well. So I think we'll try to get her on the mic in upcoming episodes so we can talk about what happens when you actually release a game and how you prepare that kind of stuff and what happens when you do. Because it's funny because suddenly the release of Curses and Chaos is way more organized than this company has ever been, which is quite thrilling. It's really cool.
Yeah.
And we're looking forward to talk about that and put it in action. So this is a really, really short episode, but we'll be coming back sooner than last time. So,
Yeah.
so hopefully we're probably going to come back next week and do a longer episode about like the actual release of Curses and Chaos and talk about what's happening around here when the game is released and what happens. If you're interested in what you're listening, please follow us at Tribute Games, and you can follow myself at Yannick Belzil on Twitter.
And Justin_Sear. Send me your love.
Yes.
Michael LaRouche on Twitter, Sivan Solis. I mostly tweet in French. Sorry about that, but sometimes I just retweet programming stuff. But it's happened not often, so.
So there you go. So we'll talk to you next time with more info about video games and maybe hopefully less crane sounds. So thanks for listening, and we'll be talking at you next week.
It's good to be back.
Yes, it is.
Yes, it is.